1st of March, Rabbi Furst, Pierke Avos, Purim.
Okay. Very good. So we're in, let's see if you let me do the share, I'll put that back on the screen.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, there we are. Again, Pasuk Yud Base. So now Haman has gotten the go ahead to do what he wants with Klal Yisrael, and therefore he now sets his plan into work by sending out the messengers. Correct?
Right. By the way, I have a note here: miracles that altered Achashverosh's actions.
Right. We were discussing that that was part of the part of what we left off. That there were many miracles that Kadosh Baruch did that caused Achashverosh to act out of character. And what we were just finishing discussing in this pasuk, the previous pasuk Yud Aleph, I mean the money that Haman was offering. He refused the money. Where he said, "It's keep the money. It's as if you gave it to me already, and you do with with Klal Yisrael Yam as you see fit." So, as Roy in his commentaries there quoted the Gemara. The Gemara mentions that it was like two people. One has a hole in his field, and one has a mound dirt in his field. So they get together, and each one benefits from the next. So that's the Gemara's explanation of why Achashverosh didn't take the money. But it seems a double pellet. It's a miraculous thing that he didn't take the money. What would he do? What does he gain by taking the money? I mean, what did by giving back the money? What did he gain by that? What was his? Someone was going to do this apparently in any event, and now he was even willing to pay for it. And he said, "No, you don't have to pay. You can do it. I'll let you. You know, you have the rights. You have the rights to do what you like with Klal Yisrael without having to pay for the rights." You know, so seems a bit out of character that he wouldn't take the money. But that's just one of the miracles of the Megillah. That miracle particularly is not really quote well understood by me. Okay, we'll see what can we do with it sooner or later, Vince Hashem. Okay. Yeah, so what was the pasuk here? Yud base, right? Rishon b'shlosha asa yom bo. They called to these the scribes of the king, the royal scribes, in the first of the months, in the 13th of the month, right? And this is the Chodesh Rishon is Nisan, right? This
Correct. Yeah.
So on the 13th of Nisan, the letters were written, and they went out, right? All Medina, and they went out each and every Medina. Sarah Ya'am, Ba'am Medina, Kitab Ba'am, Ba'loshin, B'Shem, Melech. Seems a lot of repetition here in the pasuk, no?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I wonder what the what the reasons for the repetition is. Okay, 1 second.
It really affirms that it was given. It's really there. It's a solid thing that the king did. He wasn't thinking about it.
Right, very good. That's what I was thinking. You see, it's across the board. It's very thorough. It's absolute, right? Absolute, right? And finally, v'nichtam with the Bas HaMelech. It was written and sealed with the signet ring of the king. That made it pretty. That made a finality to it, right?
Right.
Okay.
It meant that it can't be revoked.
Yep, that's also true, right? It was a royal decree,
Yeah.
not to be revoked. Correct.
And you had to do it.
Mhm. Right now, in this pasuk, it doesn't say what was actually contained, what was right. Um, that right. This first pasuk is just giving us an idea of the thoroughness of the decree. It's not saying what the decree was, correct?
Mhm.
So for that, we need the next pasuk, Yud Gimel. Let's see, Mary, you were reading.
Okay, Yud Gimel. Let's see. V'nishloach Sfarim biyad haratzim el kol medinot hamelech lahashmid laharog ulahabed et kol hayehudim mina'ar vad zakein taf v'nashim b'yom echad shlosha asar lachodesh shneim asar hu chodesh adar u'shalalam lavos.
So here in this pasuk, now we see the decree. Right?
Okay.
What was the decree?
So it says the letters were sent out with runners, I guess, haratzim, to all the states of the king to kill, the Hashmid, I guess to wipe out, and to kill. Lo'abed is also to
Destroyed.
destroy. Okay, good. All the Jews, from the youth to the old people, tough, I guess, are babies, and women on one day. Asa Chodesh. Oh, on the 13th, okay, of the month, Shnei Masar, the 12th month, I guess.
Right.
And now it says Hu Chodesh. It is the month of Adar.
No, that's Chodesh Adar. Right.
Oh, Chodesh Adar. Okay, Ushlalam Lavos. And the Shalom.
That means to plunder them. Plunder.
Oh, plunder. What they own, I guess, maybe.
Right.
So that means take everything they have also. Okay.
Right.
Guess that will help the king's treasury or help Haman. I don't know who gets that based on what the king said.
So it's not. I was thinking the people who participate, they get to keep the plunder.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. That's their reward.
Right. I mean, they shouldn't think that they're going out and killing is going to be for waste. They'll actually gain something too.
Right.
Okay. Very good. Okay, let's see next.
Okay, so that's next one is 14. Okay. Let's see. Pachegan ha kitav inatain da'at b'chol medina umedina galoi l'chol ha'amim liot atidim liyom hazeh. Okay. So what, Pachegan who wrote? That's a name, Pachegan, wasn't it?
Well, Pachegan, the Targum, Pachegan, the Tagma, right? Those were the Sofers. Rashi says the Pachegan, that's the Lashon Arami. In Aramaic, that's a Lashon for a Sofer, scribe.
Oh, so the scribes wrote. Okay. They wrote Lahinatain. All that was given.
Das, Kol Medina, was given this Das, meaning this decree was given out Kol Medina Medina in each and every province.
Mhm.
Lios Asidim Liom Hazet. It should be known openly to all the peoples that what was going to be on that day.
Uh-huh. Okay.
1 second. They wanted people to become prepared for that. They wanted people. It was sent out the decree. You're thinking this decree is being sent out 11 months in advance. This is being written, right, and sent out on the 13th of Nisan, and the decree, the command, is being given out that it was on the 13th of Adar, the previous the coming year, which is in 11 months. So we're doing this in order that people should prepare.
Wouldn't the Jews also prepare then too, if they knew this?
Right. Okay. The question is whether they're going to be able to defend themselves. That'll
Right.
be that's not defend themselves, because that'll actually be a additional point that we mentioned in the letters that Mordechai sent out. The Jews had the right to defend themselves. There was a little bit mashma from there that the Jews at this point would not be allowed to defend themselves.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
Okay.
just a question, David Pella, why a whole year's time? What do you have to do to prepare for this? Sharpen their knives? How long does it take to sharpen a knife? I mean, why? Because he cast the lot, right? He cast the lots. And that was the day that came out, right? So Haman, because of his superstition, right, actually did himself in. If it wouldn't be that there was so much time involved, maybe Haman's plan might have been carried out sooner. But we'll see more about that. Go to the next pasuk.
Okay, so it says Haratzim, Haratzim Bidvar HaMelech V'Hadat Natna B'Shushana B'Ra V'Hamelech V'Haman Yashvu Lishtot V'Ha'ir Shushan Nevucha. Okay, so the runners went out quickly. By the I guess the order of the king. Okay. And this word was distributed, I guess, throughout or in the capital of Shushan. Okay. And then the king and Haman sat to drink.
Yep.
And
Right.
now this was my question. And the city of Shushan was confused.
Right.
I thought the Jews were like the merchants, stimulated the economy of these kingdoms.
Right.
And so maybe that's what people or the people in Shushan were confused about all this.
Well, yeah, I mean, what's the
What's the ramifications?
yeah, Nevucha is, as you say, is confused. So what was the confusion here?
Well, sort of like the Jews of Spain. I think after the Jews of Spain were not excommunicated, were expelled, the Spanish economy started falling.
Okay. That's okay. You're right. And so how would that to what the pasuk is saying about that they were nevucha, that the Yer Shushan was nevucha?
Well, maybe that's if the king's edict was to get rid of the Jews. These were people who I believe would have helped the economy, and which means help the people in terms of employment and their sustenance and everything. And without them, what are they going to do?
So maybe because of what you're dealing with, Mir, Rashi says on this that the Jews were the ones that were nevucha.
Oh.
Right, the Jews were nevucha. Now nevucha, as it says, is like the Rambam. You know the famous sefer of the Rambam. More nevuchim, right? More nevuchim, guide to the right, so that's confused. They're perplexed. So what does it mean perplexed? I mean, didn't say that they were fearful. Didn't say they were crying. Didn't say that they were praying. They were perplexed. Sounds like a strange reaction. Exactly. No, Roy, isn't that a strange reaction?
Roy, you're muted.
Strange reaction. Maybe. got here bewildered, perplexed, bewildered. They're sitting down to drink. They're tasting their what do you call it? They're tasting their plant. I know maybe, but the note here says that Haman deliberately got Ashvaris to sit down and drink, hoping to get him drunk before he rescinded. And he's a fickle king, and he wanted to make, and Haman wanted to make sure that all the messengers, whoever they were well on their way and couldn't be called back. So we wanted to get Ahasuerus into such a state that he wouldn't be thinking about that.
Right. Now the Ebenezer cites the pasuk in Parshas Bashalach. One second. See this pasuk in Parshas Bashalach. One second, let me look it up. Had it a few weeks ago. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. If you want to make a note or you want to look it up, it's in Shmos, Perek Yud Dalid. Pasuk Yud Dalid. Pasuk, excuse me, Perek Yud Dalid, Pasuk Gimel. Omer Paro Livnei Omer Paro Livnei Yisrael Nevuchim Heim Ba'aretz Sagar Alehem Hamidbar. Ba'arbli. Ba'arbli. Right. Right. Yeah. So Rashi says if you they're Nevuchim Heim Ba'aretz, they were Nevuchim Heim Ba'aretz. Rashi says She'enon Yodun Letseis Mimenu Lahechin Yelchu. They didn't know, right, from where they should. Was given the report that the Klal Yisrael were basically trapped in the land. They were confused and bewildered in the land. They didn't know, let's say, to go out from there, where they should go. All right. So it could be, maybe according to the Ebenezer, he's reciting this pasuk in Bashalach, and according to the Rashi, you could also say perhaps Shad that Jews in Shushan, they were bewildered. They didn't know where to go. The Gezer was complete and absolute throughout all the provinces, kingdom of Ahasuerus. They didn't know where to go and what to do.
Although I have a note in my sefer here by the Panim Acherim. It said that once this announcement to destroy the Jews was announced, misfortune started to happen immediately. And then it says women hanging out their wash to dry.
Misfortune to the Persians.
Yeah. Yeah. To the Persians, right? Oh, you have the same thing. So women hanging out there washed to dry on the roofs of houses fell to their deaths, and men going to draw water fell into wells and drowned. And this was all while Haman and Achashverosh were celebrating.
Mhm. Okay. That also the fact that they were celebrating gives you an insight into to the Rishonim. Haman and Achashverosh, they were celebrating before anything happened, right?
Right.
The time that they should celebrate if it's something, hey, if their plan would be Hashem fulfilled, that's the time to celebrate. Not the time that they make the plan. You make the plans, you don't know if the plans are going to be fulfilled or not.
Mhm. That's true.
That's what the Medrash in Kehelis cites the case of a ship. The custom when a ship sets sail, you have a bon voyage party. Yeah. So the Medrash asked the question: what are people so excited for and celebrating at the beginning of the voyage? You don't know what's going to happen on the voyage, whether the ship is going to encounter storms, high seas, pirates, become trapped in reefs and treacherous straits of water. It's a very, very difficult voyage ahead. So what's the celebration? The time to celebrate is when the ship comes to dock, when it reaches final destination. That's the time to celebrate. And likewise, the time to celebrate is when and if Hashem, and we're happy that it didn't happen, but time to celebrate is after the plan has been fulfilled, not just simply starting the plan. And we're going to see in a few days, Haman's going to be hanging up. Right now, he's drinking with Achashverosh, and in several days, he's going to be hanging from the same gallows that he prepared for Mordechai.
Right.
Okay. That'll bring us to Perek Dalet. Yeah, let's continue on.
Okay, and it says, Mordechai yada'et kol asher na'asa vayikra Mordechai et begadav v'yobosh sach ba'efer vayetze b'toch ha'ir vayizach za'aka gedola u'mara. Okay, so when Mordechai learned about all that had happened, he tore his clothes and put on a sack and ashes and went out within the city, and he cried a great cry, I guess, and bitter.
Right.
So I guess Mordechai knew what all this meant.
Right. Now, well, there's a difficult juxtaposition over here. First of all, the last pasuk ended off with the Shushan Nevucha, and as Rashi explains, the Jews in the city of Shushan were confused, perplexed, and as we could say, they didn't know what to do, where to go, what to do. So, because the Gezer was now known, the Gezer was now open, right? It was now open for everybody to know and to fulfill that in 11 months' time, it's going to be open season on the Jews, right? That's the king's decree, right? And everyone's going to have to fulfill the king's wishes on the 13th of Adar, 11 months from now. So that's why the Jews in the Shushan were confused and bewildered. But now Mordechai Yoda es kol asher anasa. Mordechai didn't. If what Mordechai knew was the same thing as everybody else knowing, so there's nothing special in that. He was in Shushan, just like the most humble, simple Jew and Shushan knew what was now going on about the Gezerah. So Mordechai definitely would know anything that the normal run-of-the-mill Jew would know about the Gezerah that's going to take place as a in 11 months hence. So the pasuk says, Mordechai Yodea as kol asher naaseh. He knew everything that happened. Now, what's this? What's the call? What's the everything that happened over here? Right? That the pasuk goes out of its way to tell you something special. This is part of the miracle that's taking place. So the Targum explains Al Yada the Eliyahu Kahana Rabbah. So according to the Targum, Eliyahu Navi came to Mordechai. If you look at Rashi, Rashi says Mordechai Yedea Bala Chaloim Amalo. He apparently maybe had a dream. So according to Rashi, he had a dream. According to the Targum, Eliyahu Navi came to Mordechai. And he was told, according to the Targum, he was told everything that's happening in Shemayim, not what's happening in Shusha, not what is happening in this world. He's being told everything that's happening in Shemayim. What's going on with the based in Shemayla? What's Kadosh Baruch Hu doing with the Jews now? That's what he found out. That's what he learned about. Umazki Chayivu Hama Beis Yisrael. That what they were chayiv for, what he was told why they were chayiv. What was it that Kadosh Baruch Hu was making this decree on the Jewish people for? The decree that Achashverosh made with the assistance of Haman. So, as I said, the most humble regular Jew in Shushan knew about that, right? And they, because of that, when the Vucha, they were perplexed, bewildered. They didn't know what to do or where to go. And here we have the Targum telling us that Mordechai found out from Eliyahu Navi what's going on in Shemayim. Why is Klal Yisrael being given this terrible Gezerah? Oh. So it says, he continues on, because al Asik is Haniu Mesuda say Achashverosh Roshoya. It was because they got Hana, they got benefit from the Suda of Achashverosh to Russia. Osama Hava Chasin Min Tina Bushadar Morei Alma Yas Eliokana. The Chava, okay, that the reason why this is happening to Klal Yisrael was revealed to Mordechai by Eliyahu Navi because the Jews in Shushan had gotten pleasure, benefit from the Suda of Achashverosh. And now Rashi adds a little bit also. He says also two things. He says, the fish is there were two things. According to Rashi, there were the fact that they bowed down to the Tselem, the idol of Nebuchadnezzar, and secondly, because they were benefiting from the Suda of Achashverosh. So that's what was told to Mordechai. That's what Mordechai knew more than anything and anybody else, right? And that's his reaction was he was kar begadov, he ripped his clothes, hilvos sak, he put on sak ve'efer, ve'etzi betocha ear, and he went out throughout the whole city. Yizak gadol umara, and he cried a bitter cry. Now this lashon, Yitzak Tzaka Gedolim Omora. If you remember, I mentioned the other day that according to the Sfarim, the Kedoshim, that Mordechai was a Gilgul of Yaakov Avinu, and Esav was and Haman was a Gilgul of Esav. Right? So if you take a look in Parshas Toldos, I don't know if you have it nearby, we can mark it down, I'll tell you where it is. You take a look in Parshas Toldos. When Esav came in from the field after Yaakov had gotten the brachas from Yitzchak Avinu, right? So the lashon there in the pasuk, if you remember, we'll have to stop here in a minute, but we'll pick this up tomorrow. But I just want to mark the pasuk down for you. Let's see here. Oh, if you look there in Bereshis, we'll pick this up tomorrow, right? Chav Zayin, chapter Chav Zayin, pasuk lamed daled, kishemoya Esav es divrei aviv, yitzak tzaka gedola umara ad ma'od. Right, that corresponds to yitzak tzaka gedola umara. So that's mida keneged mida. That's what you also understand that there's a bit of a tikkun taking place here. Okay, we'll stop here, and we'll pick this up tomorrow, Mitzvah Shem, with this pasuk in again Bereshis, Zion, pasuk Lamed Daled, 27 verse 34. Okay, we'll take a break here. We'll continue the Megilas tomorrow, Mitzvah Shem.